Today at our Homegrown Home we're making a beautiful bird feeder wreath and a natural garland. Hi, I'm Michelle and welcome to my Homegrown Home. Christmas is coming and we're keeping things natural by making a bird feeder wreath and a bird feeder garland. And the first place we start is by preparing the fruits. It really is the easiest thing, slicing your fruit into thin slices. We started with the oranges and did the same with the apples. Once your fruits are sliced, you carefully place them on a baking sheet covered with baking parchment. We do the exact same with the apples. You can also do pears, lemons, limes. Place the baking tray into a low oven for a couple of hours, turning them halfway, and carefully watching them that they don't burn or darken. Next up, we're preparing the seeded pine cones. To make these, you need pine cones, a seed mix, sugar and water. The sugar syrup acts as the glue that sticks the seed to the pine cones. Bring the sugar and water mix to a boil to melt the sugar. And once the sugar is melted, set it aside to cool down completely. The next step is as easy as taking your pine cone, dipping it in the sugar water and swirling it around in the seed mixture, getting as many of the little seeds in the pockets of the pine cone as possible. And once they're covered with seeds, carefully place them on a baking sheet to dry. And finally, we're at the point where we can put together all our different elements. Here is what we use to make our bird feeder wreaths: a naked willow wreath, rustic ribbon, biodegradable twine, greenery from our garden, sackcloth needles, the seeded pine cones, and our beautiful dried fruits. We start assembling the wreath by tying the greenery and foliage to the wreath. We used cedar for this wreath because we like the way it smells. You can also use pine, bay leaf, any beautiful evergreen from your garden would do. When doing this craft, prepare yourself for a whole lot of tying of twine and even more tying of knots. It really is worth securing all your elements tightly to the woven willow wreath. Make sure to tidy up all the loose twine as you go along. Next up are the seeded pine cones. Use a piece of twine and secure it to the bottom part of the pine cone, pulling it in tightly. Choose a space on your wreath where you want to place your pine cone and securely tie it at the back of your wreath with a double knot. The next bit feels like a bit of unconventional sewing. Thread your twine through your sackcloth needle. Carefully thread these through the dried oranges. And just as you did with the pine cone, secure these to your wreath by tying it through with a double knot at the back. Repeat the exact same method with the apples. The last piece of decor detail we will be adding is a piece of rustic Hessian ribbon. It's the perfect finishing touch for this natural wreath. The only thing left to do is to tie a thick piece of twine to the top of the wreath in order to hang it up with. There are some really fun elements to this bird feeder wreath and we do hope you give it a go. You can find ready-made bird feeder wreaths at our homegrownhome.ie store. Next up, super easy, striking and beautiful natural garlands. We make these garlands very similar to the bird feeder wreath in that we use the dried fruits we prepared earlier. We use the dried fruits, some twine, ribbon, sackcloth needles, and unsalted popcorn. You can also add some fresh cranberries. And just like before, you use your sackcloth needle with twine to thread the fruit into a garland. You can use any pattern you like. we have found that nearly any combination looks great once you're done. You can't go wrong, so just have fun with it. There's nothing like the banter around a craft table, so pull in your family to help make these beautiful natural garlands. These crafts are almost too beautiful to hang outside, but the birds should have their fun too this Christmas. And with the dismal weather at this time of year, this would liven up any old shed, door or wall. Thank you for watching. We hope you have a wonderful and blessed festive season. For more on Homegrown Home, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram, and our beautiful merchandise is sold in our online store at homegrownhome.ie. We'll see you again soon at our Homegrown Home.